Hi again, this is Sahid with the Bloom Show. So, welcome to the Bloom Show brought to you by New Bloom Solutions and above all flowers. The intention of the Bloom Show is to innovate, connect, and help the floral industry grow through innovations, through connection, in education, and especially through networking. Today, we're having a gentleman that I believe is a great innovator, and an innovator not only in the scope of the way he's doing things differently, but also focusing on one niche product which might seem very scary for many, but to me, I believe that's a visionary of sorts. The other great aspect, and the name of the person is Eli Perez, President of Splendor Protea. The other great aspect of Eli is the aspect that he comes from another industry or knows another industry, which is the textile industry. I've been saying for a little bit now that we need to start looking at the fashion industry, obviously textile industry where it all starts. So I'm super excited to have him on because I want to learn how he uses his past experiences for his future growth in his business in such an innovative and niche market that he's in. So please help me welcome Eli Perez, President of Splendor Protea. Thank you. Eli, how are you, sir?
Hello, Sahid. How are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, firstly, for joining on the show. Thank you for your time. I got to see you at SAF. That was a pleasure to hang out with you, and thank you for a lovely dinner.
Oh, you're welcome. Good steak.
Amazing. And it's great to have you on board for us. And truly, I see you as a visionary in sense of focusing on one product, man, and also coming from the background of textiles. It's really interesting for me. So let me start with the questions, but I really want to dive into the whole your experience of working in the fashion industry, and I consider that the start of the fashion industry and how that's helped you. But let me ask you, how did you get into the flower industry?
Well, the flower industry, it's over 30 years in the flower industry.
Okay.
Starting with roses, being at the farm level, growing lovely roses for the local market, not even for export.
Wow. All right.
That was the initial part of it. With my father and family-owned business, because my mom had a flower shop, but everything came from a passion for roses, passion for flowers, and of course his passion, which was textiles. That was what he was doing what he did for over 70 years, was his main business, which was textiles. The flowers became an independent or a different type of investment to be able to grow within this industry, but never imagined to where we started and where we are today. It's a whole different world.
And so where did you start?
No.
Tell me.
Growing roses.
Okay,
Growing roses in Rosamina for the local market in Bogota. That was where our initial steps, 1 hectare for the local market in Bogota.
1 hectare. Amazing.
1 hectare.
And where are you at now?
Well, today it's over 50 hectares, or a little bit more.
And your main concentration is?
Is proteas and foliages. Not only proteas. We're growing proteas and foliages. Okay. But when you say focus on one product, when we're talking about proteas, there is many varieties of proteas, not only one type of protea. Yeah. Like when we say roses, it can be 2 types of roses: garden roses, grassy eyes, or you can have hybrid teas. Not like in proteas where you have many, over 500 types of varieties within the protea line. Mm-hmm. And it's a very different type of product than roses.
And the other day I caught someone calling you the Protea King. So why?
That was funny.
So why do you think they call you a Protea King? So it's because your passion shows to that?
Well, the proteas did become my passion. They became my passion when we started to 2010, more or less. Yes, 2010. My father says, I need help at the farm. I start traveling back between Bogota and Miami and Bogota, and getting involved with the roses again, but also developing the part of the proteas. He already started a farm that had 8 hectares of Safari Sunset. That was our startup protea product that we had, with no market, nowhere to sell it. My father was a visionary in the sense that he planted what he liked, not what he could sell, which is a lot of the times how a lot of farmers start.
Okay.
Independently to that, we started to sell our main product, which was Safari Sunset in Holland. with our good customers that we still work with them today. And we have a very good, friendly relationship with them as well. But getting into the Proteas and starting to see what would happen, I had a passion for pincushions, and he had a passion for leucadendrons, other leucadendrons. Okay. So we started to, I started to travel the world and seeing what was happening in the Protea world. And I was amazed with the product, with the look of it, and the little commercially known about this type of product in the market. Yes, there was a market for it. Yes, there was, but you still had your main market being roses, carnations, and everything else, not Proteas. Proteas were grown in California and South Africa. That's where the Proteas were grown. And they were very limited to limited timings in the year, because they grow in certain times of the year because of their geographical area where they're planted. South Africa grows in the southern hemisphere, California northern hemisphere, so they can still have a 52-week a year production in any of the products that they grow.
Gotcha. So you're able to have 52 weeks a year. That's
today, yes, because we're close to the equator. When we started planting, people were saying, "You're crazy. This is never going to produce in Colombia."
Okay.
And we were able. Thank God we were able to produce in Colombia.
So now you're producing in Colombia, but you're also
producing in Africa.
In Africa as well.
South Africa, yeah.
So and is there any different?
We have an operation, more commercial operation in South Africa because of the beauty of the product and how we love the product. Okay. And we have an operation in Colombia, and a growing operation in Colombia as well, besides a bouquet operation.
Gotcha. So you decided. My next question was, how did you decide to grow Protea? And that's basically was passion and a vision from your dad.
It was just, I remember the first day that my father sent me a couple of boxes of Safari Sunset. "What can you do with this?" I opened the boxes and I said, "Literally nothing. I can't do anything with that. What is it? How does it work? How does it function? What is it used for?" It was not something in my head that can be used only as Safari. When we traveled to Holland to see if we can find customers. We found customers and we were selling our product in Holland. I started to learn more about the type of flowers. What was a Protea? Where they come from? What's happening in the Protea world? Even today, I'm the representative of the IPA, which is the International Protea Association for South America, okay, which is the association that handles the Protea information for what happens around the world with them. Having today the two operations between Colombia, South Africa, and of course our U.S. operation, basically today we become a global company for Proteas, where you can buy Proteas 52 weeks a year, all the time, from any part in the world towards our U.S. market or European market as well.
And let's also talk about award winning, right? Because you won a couple awards at SAF this year. Maybe you have others, but let's talk about the ones at SAF this year.
Yes.
So now you have bragging rights, or not now, maybe you always have, but let's brag.
That's probably why the comment of the Protea King came about, because we had the Proteas, we had a white Protea and the pink King, an Arctic Ice and a pink King. So
and you also had a foliage, didn't you?
Yes, we had a foliage. With that foliage came from Bogota, from our farm in Bogota. Okay. Which is Acacia purpurea, which is a very nice foliage. Very interesting. Difficult in hydration, but if you get it to hydrate, it has a great combination because of its purpley color that can mix with anything, not only green.
It still won a ribbon, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
It won a ribbon for sure. And I didn't tell you, but I was taking pictures within the room, and there was a lady I was taking some home with her, someone that was working it. The two products she picked were from your farm. She picked the white Protea, and then she picked the foliage as well. So I was like, "Hey, that's from the same farm," and she knew it. She knew what she was doing.
That's good.
So compliment goes to the chef, right? So tell me about the textile industry. How has the textile and the background for your family in textile, which I consider almost the beginning of fashion, how has that helped you when it comes to your strategic planning or even your innovation and vision when it comes to the industry?
Well, that actually happened many, many, many years ago, starting within the textiles. We've been involved in the textile business, which we still are, for right now it's over 70 plus years. And My father was always a pioneer in fashion in Colombia. He used to travel the world, be 2 years in advance with what's going to happen with the color palettes, what's going to happen with the prints, no prints. And he dedicated himself to have textiles or fabric geared towards the women apparel company, apparel use. So he looked at a lot into that, and he had a very critical eye for color. That's using that critical situation for picking colors. That's how we started in roses. When we started in roses, we were, I believe, even if we had only 1 hectare, usually farms at that time were planted 70% red, 15% white, 15% pink.
Yeah.
Our farm, even a little bit before Ecuador, or more along the lines when Ecuador started to produce roses, we had 80% colors, 20% red. And we had mainly colors, and the colors that covered basically the color palette, and that's when everything in colors became an important scenario. And that's how we grew Rosamina. Rosamina started growing mainly colored roses, then red roses. So it was a big change at that time. We even won an award in Azoco Flores when Proflora started at that time, many, many years ago, in the second Proflora.
Okay.
But it was innovation at that time in the rose industry. And that was basically me and, well, my dad and I. And then throughout the years, how everything came about is with this Proteas, just growing different type of products that will grow in our temperatures, our altitudes, and our different products. And as you said, being different. That's where we really became different.
Yeah. And again, you pioneered something in a sense. You kind of saw it before everybody else did, and you moved forward with it. So,
well, as a grower, we've done groundbreaking scenarios in the Protea world. We're recognized as important growers in the Protea world.
Okay.
Why? Because we were able to do 2 things. 1, grow 52 weeks a year, which still boggles a lot of people's minds, especially when you talk to the South Africans or the North Americans. That's on one end. And the other end is being able to produce Proteas. Yes, we have advisors from different parts of the world, but having the ability to grow at 9,500 feet above sea level is another very big task. Because the temperatures and the type of growing, everything is outdoors, not on the plastic. Everything is very green and maintained very green. We are rainforest certified, which also adds to taking care of nature. So those complexities in planting flowers in fields that are filled with Fusarium or Phytophthora, which is the same family fungus, it's very complicated because it kills plants. So we've been able to regenerate soils to be able to accomplish those type of tasks. And it's been fulfilling, but at the same time, it's been a very hard scenario to grow Proteas in Colombia. It's very different than growing any other type of product.
But you're very successful, right? So you've figured it out.
We're still learning.
Okay, that's the humble, good way to say it. You're
We're
right.
still learning. There's no other way around this. We're still learning. We have, we look at Rosamina as a growing area. We've planted in many different types of styles, and we're still trying to develop our own way to grow because there's a lot of ideas, but limited information on how to do this. So we're still learning. We're still learning.
So other than colors, how are you also, do you use the textile experience to perceive trends, for example, or have a mentality of, marketing, for example? So what else have you gotten from the textile experience?
I think our base of marketing comes a lot from the textile industry, not only the textile industry, but the fashion industry.
Yes.
You have a system called Pinterest.
Yep.
And you see Pinterest full of Proteas. Somebody told me the other day if I was paying Pinterest to post Proteas, which I'm not, by the way, I'm not. Okay. But when you're seeing fashion, how fashion moves with the type of flowers used, or you look at fashion today, where it's going, and you see types of flowers like ranunculus, those soft type of flowers, how they mix or how they can be mixed with our type of flowers, which are very hardy and very strong and very solid, not as a ranunculus, which I use as an example. But having the ability to mix this type of flowers in fashion, that's one of our main differences. That's what creates a difference. Having the ability to create something which is totally new, fashion-wise. So all this comes from fashion in the sense color, look, what's going to be selling. For example, this year we know the main colors were gray and yellow, and you see gray and yellow everywhere. You see a lot of sunflowers around. Besides what you see as in fall, you've seen sunflowers, the yellow color around a lot, and the grays, and the mixes of those. But how to play with those colors to be able to combine and do very nice bouquets, which basically that's what we're doing today. Because we haven't only involved in our production, but the difficulties of our production has made us see the market in many different ways.
Gotcha.
Because remember, Proteas are short, especially pincushions. Pincushions average is 45 centimeters. That's where the average growth is. So one of our biggest tasks was how do we sell Proteas when everybody in all the mass markets and everybody wants 50 plus centimeters.
Yeah. Do you have an answer for that yet?
No, absolutely. That's our main goal. We have to sell our production. So yes, we created products, which goes directly to mass markets. We started this a long time ago, selling in the local markets in Colombia, where we didn't know what to do with our 40 centimeter roses because those didn't sell as well. So we created canastas, which was a type of arrangement that we used to sell in Carulla in our local mass markets in Bogotá. That's the biggest chain in Colombia. And we started to sell, and we were confronted with many issues trying to do this, because selling it in Bogotá, distributing in Bogotá is one thing. Distributing in the rest of Colombia is another thing, because we had to go to Cali, Medellín, Rio Negro, Barranquilla, Bucaramanga, Cartagena, and it was crazy. So we were faced with a very big scenario. Do we set shop in every city, or do we create packing that was viable to be transported in our local roads into our mass markets? So it's been several tasks that we were faced with to be able to move. And today we do any type of arrangement, bouquet, and we pack them from the farm, ready-made, all the way to the shelf and or to the end customer if it's necessary.
Question, this is a geek question. When it comes to shipping Proteas, what's the difficulties and advantages towards that?
Difficulties and advantages. Well, it's a very hardy product and depends what type of Protea. If we're talking about leucadendrons travel very well. They can be shipped by ocean or safari. Not only because it's grown in Bogota at the altitudes were at 9,500 above sea level. The color, the redness, and the foliage is very different of what it's produced in South Africa and or California. It's a very different type of product. I would say it's a whole different product. The look of it is having that. Well, we transported in containers to Holland. That was our main method of transportation to Holland. Today, it's a different story because there's no. The container issue is a whole independent issue, I think, for the whole world. So that has limited the operation towards Holland as well, because there's no containers, or the container price is way higher. So methods of transportation have varied a lot in the past year. So the benefits, try to use, keep the cold chain. That's the main thing. If we keep the cold chain, well, for any type of flower or product is the best scenario for any transportation of any flower.
Proteas seem to be very hardy. If you break the cold chain, it's not going to have the same effect as you're breaking a cold chain for a rose, for example.
Exactly. It's hardier. Yes, it is hardier. But as a company, we do strive to keep the cold chain as strictly as possible, 100%. With many difficulties, and depending from where it's coming from. If it's coming from South Africa is one thing. If it's coming from Colombia, it's another thing. That's why we're logistically in South Florida, Miami, where the cold chain is very well set up.
Yeah. So I have a storm here of DMs and little messages, so we'll have some fun here.
Okay.
We have Danilo Miranda with a couple of thumbs up and,
cool.
and I guess a fist pump. Then we have Jay, Mr. Schwanke, amazing man, amazing.
Hello, Jay.
Incredible Protea and foliage. Tell us a little bit about how you've worked with Jay in the past.
Well, Jay came down to Colombia. Well, first of all, hello, Jay. Haven't seen you in a while. I thought I was going to see you in the SAF, but I missed you. Really missed you. Anyway, the story with Jay, he came to Pro Flora in Colombia with us florists. And one day we had a luncheon at the farm. We had several people from the press that day at the farm, and we had a very interesting setup that day. Jay came. I wasn't expecting Jay. I did not know Jay at that time, and we walked the whole farm, and he did a very nice stories about the farm as well. That's where we met, and we have very similar views on flowers and what life product that is.
Yeah.
A flower is always a life.
You have a saying. That's your saying, no? Linda always
Yeah.
tells me you have un dicho. Is flower is life, right?
Yeah,
Flower is
they're
life.
life products.
Yeah, that's what it is. Flower is life. I say flower smiles. You never see someone that gets a flower without smiling.
Absolutely.
Let me
You
go to
create smiles with flowers.
Yeah, exactly. We have David assuring Jay that he's right. Totally for sure, Jay. Then we have Linda, go Ellie, our fearless leader. Hashtag a flower's life. There you go, Linda doing her marketing. And Linda's the one that pitches that all the time as well. Then we have Jay Schwanke, gorgeous white proteas, and acacia. I'm saying it wrong. Acacia. So beautiful. Linda did a great job at SAF. And then we have Linda. Thank you, Jay. So it's a little going back and forth. Jay, incredible accomplishments. Let me see if there's anything here. Jay Schwanke saying bravo. Mayor saying, giving a couple claps. So we can go on and on. Impressive entrepreneur. Wash hands. I'm not sure what that means. Carolina, Jay Schwanke. Hi, Ellie. I missed you as well. And then we have Go Ellie and Go Splendor.
Oh, Eljo, thank you very much. Eljo is our one of our partners in South Africa.
Gotcha. Oh, great. Yeah, nice to meet you, Eljo. So, question for you: are you working on anything new and or innovative in the near future?
Yes, more. I'm always trying to work on new things, not only in planting, growing. Our core business will always be proteas and foliages because there's a lot to do in that area. So we do have that, but we're also looking to do a lot of types of contract growth for different type of products because our marketing has changed a lot in the last year. COVID it was very difficult in the beginning, as it was for everybody. We've seen what's happening in the industry. I do firmly believe that this market is always consuming more, and I do believe this market is changing for the better. People that have been in the industry for a long time have seen many ups and downs, and many have struggled to sustain within the business. There's been a lot of changes internally in the business, in the growing end, especially by the big groups, which I believe that creates a lot of new avenues for marketing for different types of products.
Yes.
There's a whole new possibilities, even with the difficulties that we are faced on a day-to-day basis with transportation, with logistics, with prices, because everything is more expensive. Everything, not only the freight, but everything locally, because there's no inventories. There's no inventories in the world. So that's creating problems. But keeping that in mind, I see a lot of different opportunities. And one is our main type of product. We're launching a new brand, which is Global Proteas, which practically brings together all our companies and our brands together towards where we are marketing to. Why Global Proteas? Because the name says it itself. One of the things that we're doing is giving our customers the ability to be able to use Proteas on their day-to-day life. Doesn't matter what timing of the year you need them, you can have them. So yes, we have growing restrictions in South Africa. There's growing restrictions in the US, but with Colombia, we have 52-week-a-year production, but where we can mix and match, and that creates a whole new scenario for the base product that we can use in our bouquets, arrangements, bulk, or whatever we move it to, or to the markets we move it to be able to supply 52 weeks a year Proteas, which that was a very limited task 5 years ago.
Anybody else doing that at the moment? Sorry, pardon to ask that question, but just.
Well, there's competition. Of course, there's always competition. There's some companies that import proteas from different parts of the world, but how the scenario and how we're doing it, it's a little bit different than anybody else. Remember one thing, like you said in the beginning, you're different. I'm very different. I'm not only different in the way we grow, we're not only different in the way we produce our bouquets, we're not only different in the way we market, we're not only different in the way how we reach our customers. So a lot of people do have inventories in Miami. We shy away of having inventories in Miami. So everything is pre-sold. Or today I would say, I can say never again, but some days when you have logistical issues like we have today, it's always good to have some product around, which is a very heavy decision to make. But in the scenario on how we work and how we do things, we're so different in every avenue, from the growing until the delivery point. So I do believe there's many opportunities on how to do that, and how we maintain being different is our success.
And how are you intentional with that? So you focus on that?
I focus on being different every day of my life. I focus on that. We have to be different in thinking outside the box, in doing things differently than usual Miami companies have done it all their lives. I don't have anything against it, but I don't particularly see it that way. Or how growers do it in Colombia. When we're talking about in the specific of growing, you have farms that grow. You have growers. I'm not only a grower, but we also buy and sell a lot of product and commercialize. I don't know if that's the right word in English, but we commercialize and move different products from different parts in the world to different parts of the world. And not only keeping in the eyesight in one market, which is the U.S. market, but the international market as well, because there's potential all over the world, not only in the U.S. So keeping our minds open and being different and trying to find the different avenues to be able to accomplish that is what keeps us ahead in this type of industry, especially in the protein industry. Because we're not only growers. If you want to be a grower, you're a grower. How do you think outside the box being a grower? But at the same time, there's many steps within the industry, and that's how we're different. That's what's created the whole acknowledgement of being different.
The question is, I guess, scaling. So you're always looking for that opportunity to scale, be different, offer something better to your customers as well. So that's a testament to your innovative spirit, starting from textile, which is super cool to me. super cool. So question for you, one of the final questions first. If David Capron's on here, you have to ask the final question, Dave, because we made a tradition of that the last 2 times. So if you're here, ask the final question. And then secondly, is there anybody or anyone that you're looking to connect with within our industry? This show is intended for collaboration and networking. So it could be a shout out, hey, I love you, Mom, to I'm looking for this particular customer, or whatever else, anything else. Kind of your one-stop shop at the moment.
Always looking to perfect. So I'm always open to any new ideas. Software, web pages, marketing, transportation, logistics, food for the flowers, anything that happens, we're always looking for new things to be able to try and implement in our different operations or in the different levels of the companies to be able to use them. So I'm always open.
All right, awesome. And any shout outs, any shout outs to any of your favorite people out there? How about Linda?
She's my favorite. She's got my back.
Oh, she certainly does. She said I've worked with her very well, and she's awesome, man. She's full of energy, and you've got to go.
Oh, the whole team is there. Arcadio in Colombia, Linda here in Miami. Dalia is learning a lot and pushing several things. Robert and Eljo in Africa. Our design team, our sales team, everybody, our Andean friends. Everybody's looking for this type of growth and looking at the opportunities, and we share a lot. We do have many constructive meetings to be able to do that, to accomplish what we're doing.
Awesome. So here's the David question. Let's see what it is. When will Bogota planting of kings have commercial numbers, and what other varieties do you see coming in the future?
Well, that's 2 questions in one. Number 1 question, we already planted over 2 hectares of kings in Colombia. 2 hectares a kin has commercial numbers. The thing is, it's going to take 2.5 years to get to production because Protea is very long to get to production. Wow. And in the future, David, we're looking at Waratas and Banksias, 2 new type of Protea products as well.
And you said Boratas? What?
Waratas.
And what is that? You sound like a scientist.
Waratas, Google. Share the screen. I can't explain it. You have to look at the flower. It is a very nice flower, very complex flower. And look at other products as well within the Protea line to be able to grow. But also looking at different things to complement our products with for the bouquet operation.
Gotcha. Great. So I hope that answered your question, David. And then Jay saying Linda is wonderful. And I agree. And we all agree. Linda's awesome. So Eli, again, thank you so much for your time. Oh, one last question is how can people get in touch with you?
You, I think, posted my email, but if anybody needs it, it's you have Linda at Splendor, or you can send it directly to me, which is eperez@splendorproteas.com.
There you go. So Linda at Splendor, if you want to reach out to them, or you could reach out to Eli, and as well, Eli's on LinkedIn and Linda's on LinkedIn as well, so you can reach out to them there if you have any questions or like to follow up on this interview. So let me see. Someone just threw another question in here. Can't wait until you have them all in. So Jay saying, can't wait till you have them all in. So he's a big fan.
Well, Jay, we do have available a lot of kings. So please talk to Linda. She does know how to get them for you.
Awesome. Great. So Eli, again, thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you. It's generous, very generous of you spending your time with us and sharing all the great information. Really look forward to connecting again.
Super. Thank you very much, Sahid. Hope to see you soon again.
Hope to see you. Hablamos pronto. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So there we go. Another wonderful episode, I believe, of the Bloom Show with Eli, an innovator and visionary in our flower industry. We'll coin him and I'll start pushing it. The king of Proteas. Nothing against any of his competitors, but he's the king of Protea. I know. So he's the king of Proteas at the moment for me and for New Blooms. But great company. Really excited to hear about how textiles and another sector helped him improve his business model and also keep an eye for trends and opportunities within the fashion industry or just in general, as Eli said, thinking outside of the box, which is super, super important for us in the industry. If we continue to look outside of the box, we continue to grow outside of the box. If you grow inside of a box, you're kind of constrained within that box. So try your best to grow outside of the box. And I think Eli is a great example of going against the grain and being successful with that. So again, thank you very much, Eli. Thank you again very much, Splendor Proteas, again for joining us. Linda, tons of shout outs to you. So thank you, Jay. Thank you for joining and thank you for all the questions and interaction today. Truly appreciate you all. And hopefully we'll see you next month. We are going to have Rodrigo Levia of Esmeralda on the show next month. That's going to be exciting. Great to hear a new generation coming into the industry, someone I worked with closely personally in the past. So excited to have him on board as well. So one more time, thank you to Eli and Splendor Proteas. Thank you for your time and thank you for sharing your knowledge. And thank you everybody for watching. Remember to subscribe. Take care.